Hello aspirants, welcome to GS Core. I am Ashutosh and let's begin the session of daily current affairs analysis and the MCQs based on those current affairs. So first of all, let's look at the topics we have for today. The top 5 topics we have selected for the Maldives. Why? Because Maldives were in news yesterday and today itself, because the new government will be formed. A new government will, by that mean the elections to the parliament of Majlis, the parliament of Maldives, the majority went with the People's National Conference Congress, that is the party of the current president of Maldives. So that's why it was a news, and we have taken some concepts on the Maldives. I will explain you the geographical, political, strategic, and economic strength of Maldives, some factual information with regard to that. The next topic being the ILO, because a recent report regarding the situation of labor and the organizations have been published in the ILO. Okay, and in fact, the ILO publishes the report titled the Ensuring Safety and Health of the Work in a Changing Climate. In that, it has pointed out that there is a risk of heat stroke to the laborers working in the developing countries, and in particular the countries which are at the receiving end of the climate change. Next topic we have very short range air defense systems, short form for SROD systems. Actually, what happened that the Indian Army has started to acquire the projects, and the project will be made in the Make in India initiative. It will be fully Indianization initiative, and the projects worthing around 6,800 crores will be targeted towards the developing of the very short range air defense systems. Fourth one, heat waves. Yes, of course, we are in the gripping of the heat wave, so that's why it was a news. And on the ongoing Lok Sabha elections, the heat waves also have a factor to cause the low number of attendance in the elections. Then ethylene oxide, because it was in news due to in the MDH and Everest मसालों के अंदर इनका एक, this is the cancer causing agent, carcinogenic, and that's why it was in news. And Singapore and some southeastern countries have flagged that the content of the MDH and Everest masala, in particular in the fish curries, have the presence of this ethylene oxide. Okay, so let's start with the first topic of the day, Maldives. So basically, Maldives, I told you it was in news due to the election in the Maldives, and the Maldivian president Mohammad Muizzu party has won the control of parliament in election, and that was a landslide victory for him, and his party name was the People's National Congress, that has secured the two-third in the 93 member parliament of the Maldives. Okay, this point is clear to you. Now, what is Maldives? The geographical location of Maldives. Maldives in an island country, okay, and archipelagic state in South Asia in the Indian Ocean. ठीक है, ये clear होना चाहिए आपका. Just look from the angle of the Indian map. So here we have the Maldives. North Central Indian Ocean. Okay, North Central Indian Ocean. इसका location Maldives का है यहाँ पे, and it's an archipelagic country. Archipelagic state का दर्जा इसको मिला हुआ है. ठीक है, and that designation of being an archipelagic state has been given by the UN clause. Okay, till now the Bahamas, Fiji, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and the Philippines are the 5 original sovereign states till now. Okay, so that's why it is very important to understand from the point of view of the archipelagic state. What are the archipelagic state? And Indonesia is the largest one among these archipelagic state. So Maldives is the one that has been given the status, and the state definition of the archipelago being defined by the UN clause itself. ठीक है, I hope this is clear to you. So 1982 में एक हुआ था उसके अंदर, that has been clarified. In 1982, the UN clause signed in the Montego Bay, Jamaica, and qualified as the archipelago state. Next is very important to understand that with regard to the Maldives, it is located on the Chagos Laccadive Ridge, which is a vast submarine mountain range in the Indian Ocean. We have also covered the Laccadive few days back. So look in that video also the explanation for the Laccadive. and it's a vast mountain range, the ridge you can say, Maldives. Okay, so archipelago, most of you might be aware of the term archipelago. It's an area containing the group of island scattered around the water bodies like lakes, river, or the ocean. Suppose this is an area. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6, and these are around the water bodies, so this is called archipelago. Okay, so Maldives island is an archipelago island, and it's a country based on that definitions of archipelago state. Next important point with after the location of the Maldives is that it's of course which I told you, the volcanic ridge जो बना था उसके अंदर, an oceanic plateau extending between the north and the central Indian Ocean. I have explained you this. Now with regard to the political history of Maldives, we have to see that from the mid 16th century, initially it was a part under the Sultanate, then India has a relation with the Maldives because the name Maldives has a Sanskrit origin, and because it's being surrounded by the islands, so a kind of deep mala and deep means the islands, so the island which gives a form of a mala, the pearl, that has been named as Maldives. And even the Harappans have the seaborne trade with the Maldives, and Maldives situated at the very significant point. ठीक है, यहाँ एक आपका Maldives हो गया. So here we know that there is a Malacca, and here we have Gulf of Aden. So you can see the situational awareness will give you an idea of the strategic significance of Maldives. Each and every ship going from the Southeast Asia towards the Persian Gulf that has to cross the Maldives, so that's why it has also been called as the toll gate. So the trade location of Maldives, the strategic location of Maldives is very important, and that's why India has some military base, and it is a very important since the time ancient times. So that's why in the prelims examination this kind of information is very important from that. So from the mid 16th century, it has been the increasing influence of the European colonial powers. Must be aware, very a logical thing, that European colonial powers, who were the naval powers, they were with the intent to capture the trade routes. Of course, they have came down to Maldives, and the Maldives became a British protectorate in the 1887. However, it gained the independence in 1965, and thereafter a presidential republic was established in 1968, a republic with president as a head of that state, and with an elected people, Majlis is the name of the parliament of Maldives. I hope this point is clear to you. Next important point with the international status and the organizations which the Maldives has joined. First of all, it was a founding member of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, the SAARC. Okay, the Maldives is also a member of the, of course, United Nations, the Commonwealth of Nations. Why? Because it was under the colonial rule and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And lastly, very important, the non-aligned movement, which was in 1960s. The non-aligned movement, the movement with regard to not having any alignment with the two power bloc, that was the US and USSR. Okay, so that's why Maldives being under the international organizations, it has well participated in the United Nations and the OIC, that is the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and also part of the non-aligned movement. Further, the World Bank has classified the Maldives as having an upper middle economy. This upper middle economy is driven by the tourism potential of the Maldives. You must be aware of some of the incidents recently where when the PM Modi has posted a picture of him in the Lakshadweep, like a Reef Island, that has been criticized by some of the Maldivians parliamentarians, and that has not been gone down well with the Maldives president. So that's why some have been suspended. Further, the Maldives had asked the Indian army to withdraw its forces, its troops from the area, because they have given some areas to station our troops and helicopters. So that's why this was in news. And with regard to the controversy, the tourism potential of Maldives have also came down. The recent report few days back have suggested that the tourism industry has suffered a lot with that controversy. So better the Maldives shall not engage into that kind of conflict with the India. Okay, and further with regard to its international status, India was among the first country to recognize the Maldives after its independence in 1965, and it has established the diplomatic relations thereafter. I hope this point is clear to you. All of the geographical, political, and international affairs of the Maldives we have discussed till now. Now, there is one more point of contention with regard to Maldives, that it has a growing engagement with China, because the present dispensation in the Maldives, the present government in the Maldives is more towards China oriented हो रहा है उसका, ठीक है. And that's why it was because the President Muhammad Muizu party is a pro-China party. It has seen some kind of anti-India campaigns. So that's why India is having some strategic interest in Maldives, strategic interest, because it's a part of the blue economy. It's a toll gate due to the being a toll gate, blue economy. Okay, the toll gate concept I have told you here. The situation of Maldives as a toll gate between the Malacca and the Gulf of Aden, the Strait of Hormuz को join करता है ये, and that's why being a pro-China is a kind of little bit apprehension for India because of the strategic location of Maldives. Okay, so the Maldives growing engagement with China, including the infrastructure projects which they have growing in the BRI initiative, the Belt and Road Initiative, has raised the concern. And Maldives, as I told you, is a toll gate between the Western Indian Ocean, choke point of Gulf of Aden and the Strait of Hormuz, and on the other side the Eastern Indian Ocean, choke point of Strait of Malacca on the other. So that's why it is very important for India strength in the blue economy and through the utilization of marine resources. Now based on that, let's see the questions we have. Okay, so consider the following statements regarding the Maldives. It is located on the Chagos Lacative Reach. Yes, correct. As I told you, it's an archipelago state, and it is located on the Chagos Lacative Ridge. First is correct. It's independence from United States. No, wrong. As I told you, it's from United Kingdom or the British. It was under the British Protectorate. 1965 May it got the independence, but the name is incorrect here, and became a republic with the president as the titular head of the state. No, it is not a titular head. If it would have been the monarchy, that would have been a titular head, but now president as the head of the state, it is a republic. Republic मतलब क्या हुआ? Power with people. Power with people, and under that power, it is held by the people and their elected head. It is very important definition of republic. India is also a republican country. Okay, the Republic of India, that is the power with the people and their elected head. The head is being elected by the people. Okay, 2 is incorrect here. Third one, it is also a founding member of the SAARC. True, as I told you, it is one of the founding member. Fourth option, Operation Cactus was conducted by Indian forces in Maldives to thwart coup attempt in 1988. Yes, true. What happened in the year 1988? There was an attempt of coup in the Maldives in which the Operation Cactus was conducted by the Indian forces. Though at that moment of time, after that, there was some kind of apprehensions and kind of negative feeling has grown into the Maldives with regard to India. And with regard to the relationship between India and Maldives, there were 2 and 3 continuous phases of ups and downs. So Operation Cactus was conducted by the Indian forces in Maldives to thwart and coup attempt in 1988. So which of the following above are correct here? So 1, 3 and 4 are correct. So option D will be the right answer. Just have a pause on this video and look by yourself. We'll move to the next topic now. The next topic for us is the International Labour Organization. Okay, International Labour Organization. So basically what happened, just look at the report which it has published. So recently it has published the report titled Ensuring the Safety and Health at Work in a Changing Climate, which paints a very grim picture. What is the grim picture? That over 22.4 billion workers, that is the 70% of the global workforce, is on the verge of facing the dangerous heat exposures during their jobs. And it has been highlighted that it is a worsened effect of the climate change. This report observes that 2.4 billion, that is the 70% of the global workforce, are going to face the heat exposures during their jobs, like factories, mines, etc. And even one is going to his job place, he will face the heat wave. So that is the picture which has been painted by this report titled the Ensuring Safety and Health at the Work in a Changing Climate. Now look at the ILO as an organization. Some basic information will be shared with you. So it was established in the 1919, and this time it was under the Treaty of Versailles, the treaty which has been signed after the World War I के बाद this treaty has been signed for the international order, the reorganization of the international order. And thereafter in 1919 this ILO was established. Okay, however, it has went forward, and in 1946, after the establishment of the United Nations, it became the first specialized agency of the United Nations. Very important fact from the prelims point of view. It is headquartered in where? Geneva. At times it can be asked in some PCS or helpful for you to understand from the prelims point of view. And its mission revolve around the belief, it believes that the social justice is very crucial for universal and lasting peace. It means that whatever development we can achieve in our neighborhood, in our nations across the world, the development shall be based on the perspective of social justice, because social justice means samajik nyay. The workers shall have their fair wages, the fair remunerations, good working conditions. Okay, discouraging to slavery and the forced labor, etc., will be a call of social justice, samajik nyay, and that is very helpful for the universal and lasting peace. Development will not be good if it is not being in a peaceful manner. So that is the achievement, that is the mission of this ILO. Okay, now of course it works to promote the internationally recognized human and labor rights. Okay, striving to ensure decent work for all, as I have told you, elimination of the child labor and the forced labor, and in recognition of the contributions which the ILO made toward the global peace by its effort and the movement for the social justice, its conventions, it has been given the Nobel Peace Prize in 1969. Nobel Peace Prize in 1969 given to the ILO. Now, with regard to the status of India, what is the status of India with regard to ILO? It is one of the founding member of ILO. Very interesting fact, it is one of the founding member, also a UPSC PYQ in 2018. It has been a permanent member of the ILO governing body since 1922. Interesting fact, star mark here, it is the permanent on the seat of the governing body of ILO since 1922. Okay, and the first office of ILO started in India in 1928, and India has ratified 6 out of the 8 core fundamental ILO conventions, the convention which it has for the forced labor, child rights, etc. We'll look into that. So firstly, the ILO office भारत में 1928 में start हो चुका था, and that was a time period when in 1925 historical point of view, All India Trade Union Congress was there. There was a CPI. So of course the labor issues, the worker rights were going on at that time in the modern Indian history. So keep doing this kind of the main purpose of mine to make you understand that how the interlinkage of subjects will help you in this. Okay, so that's why India has been on a permanent seat of the governing bodies in 1922, and in 1928 it has started the first office of ILO in India, and 1925 was the period of AITUC and CPIs. Further, the conventions which have been ratified by the India are the forced labor conventions, abolition of forced labor. You can also look from the PDF which will provide you after this video, and equal remuneration conventions. One of the important one is the child labor convention number in 182, and with that convention India has also ratified its child labor acts, and the prevention of child labor laws are into the tandem with this kind of conventions. Okay, however, India has not ratified the two core fundamental conventions. Those are the freedom of association and protection of right to organize the convention, and the right to organize and collective bargaining conventions. Only these two were not ratified by India. However, the 6 were ratified by India. Now, further with regard to the publication, what are the other publication of ILO? It publishes the World Employment and Social Outlook Report. Employment, of course, it is one of the concern of the ILO, and social outlook, that how the employment is giving social outlook, social development in that respect. Further, it publishes the Global Wage Report, the last year 2023 Global Wage Report, important for you, and World Social Protection Report. And beside, it has also published the Ensuring Safety and Health at the Work in a Changing Climate, that has said that over 70% of the global workforce is at the risk from the heat waves. Okay, and further, of course, the heat stroke, exhaustion, and other have claimed the lives of many due to the heat stroke, and chronic health problems are the resultant of that. So let's look at the questions we have. Question says that ensuring the safety and health at work changing climate, released by, of course, ILO. You can also be given some options in UPSC to solve That might be confusion because International Labour Commission has been framed here, has been given to you, and number C is the correct option, that is the International Labour Organization. So let's come to number third topic. We have very short range air defense VSHORAD systems. So basically what happened, India has now released some money. India has given the approval. Okay, Indian Army is advancing with two projects worth 6,800 crore to create the indigenous very short range defense system. Indigenous बनाएंगे ये लोग, ठीक है? So we are creating the very short range indigenous under the Make in India, under the Make in India part. Okay, and it intend to acquire around 500 launchers and 3,000 missiles. So we'll explain you what are the very short range air defense systems. Okay, so basically very short range, they are the short range shoulder fired missiles कि आप उसको कांधे पर रख के भी फायर कर सकते हो. तो आपको कहां फायर करना है, वो अपकमिंग एयरक्राफ्ट के ऊपर, ड्रोन्स के ऊपर, ठीक है, कोई फ्लाइंग ऑब्जेक्ट्स के ऊपर. So on those you can fire the on the aircraft, helicopters, etc. And they are very useful from the purpose of in the border areas, also in the areas of border areas concerning the, because at times you can see the drones being coming from the POK area. So these can be very useful in that regard. And India do had a system with regard to the very short range air defense system. So India has one defense system known as by the IGLA 1M. This was inducted in the year 1989. It was the same system of very short system, but now by 2013 de-induction has been started. So now India needs a new system. So that's why the projects have been given to develop the indigenous under the Make in India part of 500 launchers and 3,000 missiles under the very short range air defense system. So basically it is advancing the two projects. Of course, the factual are not very important for you. So basically you have to think that they are the shoulder fired missile system aimed to counter the aerial threats with the borders with China and Pakistan. The project is based on, okay, the first project is based on, we have the two projects. Basically the first project is based on the laser beam riding very short range air defense system. Laser beam riding very short range air defense system. So what is the first of all, let's look at the laser beam riding very short air defense system. So basically the laser beam in this defense system, the first project, a laser beam will be targeted. A laser beam is directed towards target. ठीक है, कि एक लेजर बीम टारगेट फर्स्ट, if any aircraft is coming from that area, so on that aircraft a laser beam will be targeted towards it. ठीक है, and after that this missile will have a seeker. Okay, seeker means खोजना. So the missile will have a seeker which will seek the air beam, it will follow the air beam. So seeker in the missile follows the beam, and also it has the capability to adjust itself, because ये तो एक flying object है, it will be on the move. So the beam has the capability, the seeker has the capability to adjust according to the beam. So it is then thereafter it will blow it up. ठीक है, उसको ये वहां से उड़ा देगा. So that's why it is very effective against the fast moving objects, fast moving targets. And basically it has one more important part, that it can work even in the in the smog, dust, कुछ भी लगा हो ऐसा, ठीक है, रेन के अंदर भी it can work in the fire also. So the laser beam riding V-shots are the thing that in which a laser beam is directed towards a target, and thereafter the seeker in the missile follows the beam and also adjusts. It has the capability to adjust itself, and the missile is equipped with the target finders. ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. There's the first project which have the investment of this much of amount, and it will offer protection against the enemy's drone, fighter aircraft and helicopters. सो वेरी इफेक्टिव अगेंस्ट द बॉर्डर ऑफ चाइना एंड पाकिस्तान. ठीक है, बहुत दोस्ती आ रही इन लोगों के साथ चलती रहती है हम लोगों की. वेरी इफेक्टिव फॉर इन दैट मैनर. द सेकंड प्रोजेक्ट, इट विल हैव टू प्रोजेक्ट्स. तो सेकंड वन will be developed by the DRDO, the Defense Research and Development Organizations. Now, DRDO will develop an infrared homing based VSHORADs. Okay, infrared homing based VSHORAD. Now, what is this infrared homing based VSHORADs? So, basically, these infrared homing based VSHORADs are equipped with the infrared seekers. ठीक है, इसमें होता क्या आपका, under that you'll see it utilizes the infrared homing for targeting and intercepting airborne threat, and this missile is equipped with the infrared seeker which detects the heat emitted by the target. Okay, so this one infrared homing based, it has the infrared seeker, and that seeker, just like the seeker in this red beam, so of course this has the infrared seeker, and that will identify the target, based on the heat emitted by the target, that is the heat signature. It will track the heat signature. कोई भी एयरक्राफ्ट या हेलीकॉप्टर्स जो हवा में उड़ती हैं, इनका एक हीट सिग्नेचर होता है. हीट सिग्नेचर्स particularly aircraft, helicopters and drones. So when a target is detected, the detection being by the infrared seeker, okay, which detect the heat emitted by the target, typically the engines or the heat generated by the friction as the target moves through the air, जो है planes आपके यहाँ से fly होंगे, they emit the heats, and that is the heat signature. So infrared seeker will target those heat signatures, and when the target is detected, the missile seeker locks into that infrared signature of the airborne target or the helicopters. Okay, so when the target is identified, ठीक है, ये target है, इसको identify कर दिया, and thereafter the missile seeker, the seeker in the missile, similarly as in the laser beam riding a very short range air defense system, similarly we have a missile seeker here. So missile seeker will lock on the target, it will follow the target and destroy it. Okay, so it is one of the very again important one. So infrared homing based offer advantages more than that. It is it offer the advantage in terms of the accuracy. It is more reliable, and it can engage the targets in various environmental conditions, like day and night operations can be connected by this infrared homing based VSHORAD system, and they provide an essential layer of the defense. Okay, they provide the essential layer of the defense. So these systems have demonstrated their significance in which conflict? Of course, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, hand-based missile launchers का use हुआ था उसके अंदर, and a critical role in providing the layered defense capability against the low-flying aircraft, helicopters and drones. So कोई भी अगर चाइना या पाकिस्तान से आता है, we can use the laser beam target system and the infrared homing system to lock in the targets and blow them up, destroy those things. ठीक है. So in Indian military, as I told you, we have the one system, IGLA 1M system, introduced in 1989 and de-induction in 2013. So now it wants to again refill its capabilities, and these development under the Make in India initiative, which seeks to foster the self-reliance in defense manufacturing. I hope the concept is clear to you with regard to the laser beam riding. Okay, and the second one, the infrared homing based VSHORADs. Now let's see the questions based on that. So just I here explained the thing, simple thing in the PDF you will get under that. So laser beam is directed towards a target by a designator such as laser target designator or a laser range finder, and that the missile follows the laser beam to its target. As the missile moves the target, it constantly adjusts its flight path to the stay centered on the laser beam. उस पे ये center रहता है, उसको follow करता है path को, and that helps to precise targeting even against the fast moving or maneuvering targets. Okay, very high accuracy, and against the countermeasures systems. Next, of course, the infrared homing As I told you, it utilizes the infrared homing technology for targeting and intercepting the airborne threats, which detects, how does this? Because the missile is equipped with the infrared seeker, which detects the heat emitted by the targets. Okay. And thereafter the missile locks onto the infrared signature of the target and guides the missile towards, yahan se ye signature aa raha hai, the missile will be guided towards that and it will destroy it. ठीक है. Heat signature कौन कौन निकालता है? Aircraft, helicopter and drones. So infrared and has a more higher accuracy, reliability, more reliable, okay, against the low flying threats, enhancing the overall air defense capability of the military forces. So based on that, let's see the MCQ regarding the very short range air defense system. Which of the above are correct? So these missiles can only be launched by rocket launchers placed above the ground station. You have not read this thing, believe on your instinct, because we have not explained you this, and it is not by the same rocket launchers but hand based missile guiding systems which can destroy using the laser beam and the infrared homing technologies. One is incorrect here. These missiles play a crucial role in providing a layered defense system capable against low-lying aircraft, helicopters, and drones. Yes, nothing incorrect in that. These are the shoulder-fired missile systems are being developed to counter the aerial threats. Correct. So 2 and 3 are correct. So option B will be the correct option answer here. Next topic we have is the heat waves. Heat waves. Okay. Because North India is in the grip of the heat wave, and there's a many directions being given by the meteorological department, that is stay indoors, children को बाहर निकलना चाहिए. तो ये heat wave क्या होते हैं? ठीक है, what are the heat waves? So basically it is defined based on the temperature thresholds over a region in terms of actual temperature or its departure from the normal. So what does it mean? It means कि कहीं का अगर temperature आपका normal से बढ़ जाता है above the normal threshold, it will be called as heat wave. So what is the criteria for declaring the heat waves? So when in the plains, but plain वाले region में, when the temperature will rise above the 40 degrees Celsius, ठीक है, it will be called the heat wave. Similarly, in 37 degrees Celsius in the coastal areas and 30 degree in the hilly regions. So if you see, for 4.5 degrees Celsius increase in the normal temperature will be called as heat wave, and if the increase in temperature is 6.4 degrees Celsius, it will be called as the severe heat wave. Basic definition and criteria for the heat waves. Okay, I hope the concept is clear to you. Now, what are the causes of these heat waves? Okay, basically, if you see the causes, I will explain in that one basic. I will explain you the causes that, you know, when the high pressure system stalls over a region and trap the air. कि अगर इस region में particularly this is the region and above that region there is a high pressure system. High pressure system यहाँ पे आ जाता है. So what it will do? It will trap. यहाँ से जो हवाएं चल रही हैं, that will be trapped. Now these air, if they are hot airs, गर्म है ये, warm है, hot air है, they will be trapped due to that high pressure system stalls over a region. यहाँ पे आके रुक जाता है and trapping the air that can trap the air and can trap the warm air and thus near system and lack, and due to that what happened, there will be heat waves. There will be generation of the heat waves. ठीक है, ये बेसिक डेफिनेशन, बेसिक कॉन्सेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग है हीट वेव कैसे होता है, क्योंकि इस रीजन पे अगर हाई प्रेशर सिस्टम डेवलप हो जाता है, इट कैन ट्रैप द एयर अंडर दैट, एंड इफ द एयर इज वार्म एंड हॉट, it will be generating the heat wave. So that's why we are telling you, and the scientific community is saying that the temperature rise, the climate change is very impactful in generating the heat waves, because what happened with the temperature rise? The temperature rises, and if any particular place where the temperature is on rise, there is a heat wave phenomena. There is a phenomena of high pressure region develop over the area. It will stall, okay, over a region, and thus it will trap the air, and that will cause the heat waves. So let's see the definition in particular. Okay, so transportation or the prevalence of a hot dry over air region because of the creation of the high pressure areas, okay, over a region. So it should have a region of warm dry air, an appropriate flow pattern for transporting hot air over the region, कि वहां से transport हो पाए तभी हो पाएगा. Further, one very important thing is the absence of moistures, because the moisture will not allow the temperature to rise. Okay, because the presence of moisture restrict the temperature rise. So that's why absence of moisture in where? Upper atmosphere. Okay. Then the next third one, very important, that there shall be practically cloudless sky, and that cloudless sky will allow the maximum insolation over the region. Insolation means the receiving of the sun rays over the area, and if the sky is cloudless, there will be maximum insolation. The sun rays direct उस पे transfer हो पाएंगी, and that's why I told you in this slide that in this region the high pressure development and the air is being trapped. So there is a high insolation, cloudless conditions, high insolation will create a more hot and warm temperatures. Okay, and that's why there will be temperature rise over 4.5 degrees Celsius, heat waves, and over 6.4 degrees severe heat waves. Okay, and on plains we have 40 degrees Celsius, coastal area 37 degree and 30 degree in hilly regions. Important from plains point of view. Next, very important, large amplitude anticyclonic force in the area, over the area, and one more important event, that the lack of any western disturbance in this region, lack of any western disturbances, क्योंकि वहां से क्लाउड फॉर्म नहीं होता, हवाएं तेज चलती नहीं है, टेम्परेचर में कोई बदलाव नहीं आता है. So what is the month in which they occur? They mainly occur in the March to June. In particular, the month of May is very infamous for the heat waves. गर्म हवाएं बहुत चलती है इस टाइम में, एंड द रीजन्स मेनली नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया एंड द सेंट्रल पार्ट ऑफ द इंडिया, in particular the southern central part of India like MP, Gujarat, then we have Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, the region of Vidarbha, Marathwada, Bihar and Jharkhand. They are witnessing the most of the heat wave scenarios, and in particular in the May of month, at times the stretching month March to June, but we can also see in some areas in the month of July. Okay, heat waves very harmful, so that's why very harmful. क्यों? मतलब heat waves से आपको stroke आ सकता है, you can get fainted in the midday, you can be dehydrated. So you can see the impact of the climate change. The natural phenomena will be aggravated by the impact of the climate change, because there will be more increasing instance of these heat waves. Further, we have one more concept, urban heat island. Urban heat island, यूपीएससी का PYQ भी, ये क्या होता है? कैसी वही सेम चीज, किसी अर्बन एरिया में ज्यादा हीट वेव जनरेट हो गया, ज्यादा हीट है, मोर हीट इन एन अर्बन एरिया देन द सराउंडिंग एरिया. सराउंडिंग एरिया से will be having temperature 25 degrees Celsius, but in this area we will have 35 degrees Celsius, urban heat island. ठीक है, so let's see the question based on that. Which of the following statement is are correct regarding the heat waves? So it is defined based on the temperature thresholds over a region in terms of actual temperature or its departure from the normal. Yes, nothing incorrect in that. We have just discussed that it has the temperatures above than normal. Absence of moisture in the upper atmosphere. Yes, true. Okay, and the cloudless sky contributing factor to the generation of the heat waves. Nothing incorrect in that. Third statement says that heat waves is considered if maximum temperature of a station reaches at 40 degrees Celsius or more for plains. True. And 30 degree for hilly regions. What was for the coastal? 37 degree for the coastals. Third is also correct here. A severe heat wave is declared if the departure exceeds 6.4 from the normal. Yes, true. On the previous slide we have discussed that. So of course 1, 2, 3, 4 is the correct answer here. Okay. Now see the options we have set: 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2 and 3. So you must be aware of the natural phenomena. You will arrive at the logical conclusion. Last topic, ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide was in news because the reports have emerged from the Hong Kong Center for Food Safety and the Singapore food agencies. They have indicated that they have detected the ethylene oxide, which is a carcinogen, cancer causing agent in several Indian spice product. In fact, in particular the फिश करी का जो मसाला था उसमें मिला था इन लोगों को. So what is then ethylene oxide? Is an important organic compound. And what are the organic compound? Organic compound are member of a class of chemicals containing the carbon atoms bound to one another in a and to other atom by covalent bonds and found in the cells of living organisms. ठीक है, basic definition of the organic compound. So these ethylene oxides are organic compounds which are widely used in various industrial process. Industrial process, I mean to say that medical industry, food industry, etc. So because of that use in the food industry, the presence of carcinogen, the cancer causing agent, okay, the ethylene oxide is also called the cancer causing agent, तो उसमें ये पाया गया है, so that's why it was in the news. And ethylene oxide मीनिंग ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड, ठीक है, प्रीलिम्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू के लिए आप पढ़ सकते हैं. देन वन मोर इंफॉर्मेशन वी हैव दैट हाइड्रोजन, ऑक्सीजन एंड नाइट्रोजन आर द टिपिकल एलिमेंट्स which in addition to the carbon make up the organic compound. इसी का ये फॉलो करेगा. So next information with regard to the factual one, that the chemical structure and the properties, that the C2H4 is the chemical formula and the molecular weight is the 44.5. Then we have the, in the terms of physical state, the ethylene oxide is a colorless gas at room temperature and the pressure, okay, and the boiling point will be 10.7, the melting point will be 111.3 degrees Celsius. melting point जहां पे वो melt हो जाए and boiling point जहां पे boil होना start हो जाए वो, ठीक है. One thing to remember, the physical state will be colorless gas at the room temperature and pressure. The production method, of course, it is primarily produced by the catalytic oxidation of ethylene. In terms of application, because we have discussed that it is used in various industrial process. So first of all, we look at the medical one, sterilization, widely used for sterilizing the medical equipment. Why? Because of excellent penetration abilities and efficacy against the any bacteria, virus and fungi. इनके खिलाफ इनका efficacy रहता है ethylene oxides का, and that's why they have been used to sterilize the medical equipments. Okay. Then in terms of the chemical intermediaries, they serve as a precursor to various chemicals, okay, including the ethylene glycol, which is used in the anti-fridging and polyester production. Then in terms of surfactants, we have used in the cosmetics, personal care products. So why we are taking this? Because UPSC can ask the uses of this ethylene oxides. Okay, so one thing you have to remember, sterilization, medical purpose, industrial purpose, also as a surfactant for the detergents, cosmetics and the personal care products. Then of course the textile, for treating the textile to provide a wrinkle resistance. कुछ new shirts आप लोग देखेंगे मार्केट में आते कि wrinkle free है, so this is being used in that is shrink resistance. And a raw material for certain pesticides. What are the health concern? The health concern that it has been identified and classified by the International Agency for Research on Cancer as the group 1 carcinogen, which is very impactful and effective owing to its carcinogenic or the cancer causing potentials. And the recent report from the Food Safety of Hong Kong and Singapore has given that the brand like MDH and Everest has been they are containing the ethyl oxide above the permissible limits. Food में ये allow होते हैं but not above the permissible limits. Okay, so that's why it has been recalled. And the very recently, few hours back, we have got the news that center has again approached and they have called back the products to review once again in India also, क्योंकि भारत के लोग भी अगर बीमार पड़ सकते हैं उससे तो, और मसाला हम लोग को वैसे ही बहुत पसंद है, ठीक है. So despite its effectiveness in the reducing microbial contamination, the long-term exposure or the high concentration will have a very particular health impacts which can affect the genes, reproductive effects and the cancer causing agents. Okay. Based on that, let's see the questions we have. Ethylene oxides के ऊपर, it's a very important organic compound primarily produced by the catalytic oxidation of ethylene. Just in the few slides back, I have told you the production method. So of course, one will be the correct option here. In its medical use, it can kill bacteria, virus and fungi. True. Classified as a group 1 carcinogen due to potential to cause cancer or the cancer causing. Yes, true. Third is also correct here. 2 and 3 are correct. Fourth one, it is used to fumigate agriculture products to prevent the microbial contamination but not authorized for use in the food. So now give a 5 minutes of understanding, 5 seconds of understanding on this, that they are being allowed. Okay, they are being allowed in the food, but they are not authorized for use in the food products. Products में हम मसाला में use कर सकते हैं उसको, but in the food products that has not to be allowed, because that is first thing is above permissible limit, and then again it is the carcinogenic. It can use only to prevent the contaminations, कि उसको उतना ही तक यूज को जहां तो उसका कंटेमिनेशन ना हो, कि मसालों में, इन द मसालास, इन द स्पाइसेस only used in that concentration which can prevent the microbial contamination, not above that. So the findings of the labs in the Singapore points towards that the concentration is higher one. Okay, so despite its effectiveness, higher concentration can pose severe health risk. Okay, so that's why this has been called back by those countries. So I hope the concept is clear to you. All four are corrected, nothing incorrect in that, because the fourth one I have told you that they are only used to prevent the microbial contamination but not authorized for use in the food. उसको food product से आप उसमें आप use नहीं कर सकते, only as a agent to prevent the microbial contamination. So I hope the things are clear to you. See you next time. Thank you very much. Take care.